2 hours had passed. Ji-hoon had answered what felt like 100 questions about Earth, about his daily life, about things that seemed completely ordinary to him. Dr. Velthar wrote down every answer, his skin cycling through colors that Ji-hoon was starting to understand meant different emotions. Finally, the door opened. Director Thexel entered with a data tablet in 2 of his 6 hands. His expression was hard to read, but his voice was serious. "We have received emergency clearance from Coalition Command. Level 9 access has been granted for medical purposes only." He handed the tablet to Dr. Velthar. "Doctor, you should sit down before reading this." "I am a medical professional with 4 decades of experience," Dr. Velthar said, his skin showing calm green. "I have treated species from every corner of the galaxy. I am prepared for anything." He took the tablet. His 4 eyes focused on the screen as he began to read. 5 seconds passed. His skin turned white. Completely white. This cannot be accurate," he whispered. Director Thexel moved closer, reading over the doctor's shoulder. His gray skin seemed to pale as well. Ji-hoon stood up. "Is something wrong? Do I have some kind of disease you're worried about?" "No," Dr. Velthar said quietly. "No disease." "Please sit down, Diplomat Park. We need to discuss your file." Ji-hoon sat. The 2 doctors positioned themselves across from him. Dr. Velthar held the tablet with trembling hands. "Your planet, Earth, has been classified as a Class 12 Deathworld." "Okay," Ji-hoon said. "What does that mean?" "The classification scale goes from Class 1 to Class 10, Director Thexel explained. Class 10 worlds are considered barely survivable. Extreme radiation, toxic atmospheres, dangerous predators. Most Coalition species would die within hours on a Class 10 world. Earth is rated Class 12, Dr. Velthar added. The scale was not designed to go that high. Scientists had to expand it specifically for your planet. Ji-hoon blinked. "I'm sorry, but that doesn't make sense. Earth is nice. People live normal lives there. Billions of people." Dr. Velthar looked at his tablet. "According to your file, you contracted varicella as a child. The file describes it as a highly contagious viral infection that causes painful lesions across the entire body." "Oh, chickenpox. Yeah, I had that when I was 6. It was itchy and annoying, but it went away after a couple weeks. You survived a body-wide viral infection that causes open wounds." Dr. Velthar's skin was flickering between white and purple. Most species would require hospitalization and possibly die from such an infection. It's just chickenpox. Every kid gets it. Every human child survives a potentially lethal viral infection as a normal part of childhood, Director Thexel said slowly, as if testing whether the words made sense when spoken aloud. Dr. Velthar scrolled through the file. "You mentioned you broke your arm at age 12. Yeah, I fell out of a tree. Hurt a lot, but they put a cast on it and it healed fine. You fell from an elevated position. Your bone fractured. The report says the break healed naturally in 6 weeks with no permanent damage." Dr. Velthar looked up from the tablet. "Bones that regenerate. Your species has bones that regenerate. Well, yes, don't other species heal from broken bones?" "No," both doctors said at the same time. Director Thexel continued. "Most species require synthetic bone grafts or permanent support structures. Natural bone regeneration is considered science fiction, a medical impossibility." Ji-hoon felt confused. "But humans break bones all the time. Athletes, construction workers, children, they heal. Sometimes you need surgery if it's really bad, but mostly they just heal." Dr. Velthar made several notes. His hands were still shaking. "Your file mentions appendectomy at age 23. Removal of—" I am translating this correctly? "A vestigial explosive organ? My appendix? It's not explosive. It just got infected and had to be removed. The medical report describes it as an organ that serves no essential function, but can spontaneously become inflamed and rupture, causing a potentially fatal infection that spreads through your abdominal cavity. Well, yes, that's why they removed it before it burst. You have non-essential organs inside your body that can randomly try to kill you," Dr. Velthar said flatly. "I mean, I guess when you put it that way." Director Thexel took the tablet and read for a moment. "Your file includes dietary information. Let me see if I understand this correctly. You regularly consume capsaicin? Like spicy food? Sure, Korean food can be pretty spicy. I love it. Capsicum is a chemical irritant used in defense sprays. It causes pain receptors to activate. Most species experience it as a weapon. Humans eat it for fun, Jihoon said. It tastes good, makes your mouth tingle. You deliberately cause yourself pain during meals because it feels pleasurable, Dr. Velthar said, his skin now a steady purple color that Jihoon was certain meant extreme stress. I wouldn't say it hurts. It's more like a warm feeling. Director Thexel continued reading. Ethanol consumption. You drink industrial solvent? You mean alcohol? Beer, wine, that stuff? Ethanol is used to disinfect medical equipment and power certain types of engines. It is toxic to nearly all organic life. Humans drink it at parties and with dinner. Some people drink too much and it's bad for them, but in moderation it's fine. In moderation, Dr. Velthar repeated. You consume known toxins in moderation. The file also mentions caffeine intake, Director Thexel said. 3 cups of coffee per day on average. I need coffee to wake up in the morning, Jihoon said. Doesn't everyone? Caffeine is a neurotoxin. Insects produce it to kill other insects that try to eat them. It disrupts neural function. It helps me focus at work. You consume a neurotoxin to improve brain function. Dr. Velthar set the tablet down on his lap. His 4 eyes stared at Jihoon. Diplomat Park, do you understand what you are describing? Your species regularly ingests chemical weapons, survives infections that would kill most beings, heals from injuries that are permanent for others, and all of this is considered normal. Jihoon spread his hands. I'm just a regular person. I work in an office. I'm not special. Your planet's environmental data is included in this file, Director Thexel said. Atmospheric composition, 21% oxygen. Is that high? Most life-supporting atmospheres contain 8 to 12% oxygen. 21% is approaching combustible levels. Your atmosphere is 1 spark away from igniting. But it doesn't ignite, Jihoon pointed out. Your gravity is listed as 1g. That is considered heavy gravity. Most species evolved on planets with 0.4 to 0.7 g. I feel fine in normal gravity, Jihoon said, because you evolved in heavy gravity. Your muscles and bones developed under constant pressure. To you, it feels normal. To most of us, Earth's gravity would be crushing. Dr. Velthar picked up the tablet again. Temperature ranges. Your file says you lived in Seoul, where summer temperatures reach 35 degrees and winter temperatures drop to negative 15 degrees. Yeah, summer can be hot and winter gets cold. You wear different clothes depending on the season. That is a 50-degree temperature variation, Dr. Velthar said. Most inhabited worlds maintain temperatures within a 10-degree range. Anything more is considered extreme and dangerous. Humans adapted, Jihoon said. We're good at adapting. Your species evolved through adaptation to constant environmental threats, Director Thexel said. The file includes information about your evolutionary history. Persistence hunters. You chased prey animals until they collapsed from exhaustion. That was thousands of years ago. You evolved as predators that killed through sheer endurance. Nothing could outrun you because you simply never stopped chasing. Jihoon felt a little uncomfortable now. The way the doctors were looking at him had changed. There was something like fear in their eyes. I'm not dangerous, he said quietly. Humans aren't like that anymore. We're peaceful. That's why I joined the diplomatic service. To help build friendship between species. Dr. Velthar's skin shifted from purple to a softer blue color. I apologize, Diplomat Park. I do not mean to suggest you are dangerous. This is simply overwhelming. In all my years of medicine, I have never encountered anything like this. Your species survived conditions that would kill most coalition members within days, Director Thexel said. And you did it not just survive, but thrive. Billions of you living normal lives completely unaware that your normal is extraordinary. I don't feel extraordinary, Jihoon said. I'm just a guy who likes coffee and spicy food. Dr. Velthar made more notes on his tablet. I need to report this to Coalition Medical Command. They need to understand human biology before more of your species enters diplomatic service. Am I cleared for my assignment? Jihoon asked. Physically, you are the healthiest patient I have ever examined, Dr. Velthar admitted, but I have many questions. So many questions. I'm happy to answer them, Jihoon said. I want to help. Director Thexel stood. I will contact Medical Command. Dr. Velthar, continue your evaluation. We need comprehensive data. After the director left, Dr. Velthar looked at Jihoon with his 4 eyes showing something that might have been wonder. Diplomat Park, your species is remarkable. Terrifying, but remarkable. Jihoon smiled. We're really not that scary once you get to know us. Dr. Velthar's skin flickered with colors Jehoon couldn't interpret. I certainly hope so. The news spread through Medical Station Theta 7 like fire in dry grass. A Deathworlder was on board. Staff members who passed by Examination Room 6 walked faster. Some of them stared through the window at Jehoon, who was drinking water and scrolling through his communication device, completely unaware of the panic he was causing. In the station cafeteria, workers gathered in small groups, whispering. I heard his planet has oxygen levels that could explode. Someone said he drinks poison for fun. Deathworlder, Class 12, that's higher than the scale goes. In Examination Room 6, Jehoon looked up as Dr. Velthar returned with another water container. Your hydration levels are excellent, but I brought more water just in case, the doctor said. His skin was shifting between blue and green. Colors Jehoon had learned meant the doctor was trying to stay calm. Thank you. How much longer do you think this will take? Before Dr. Velthar could answer, the door opened with more force than necessary. A tall woman in diplomatic uniform strode in, her expression sharp. Ambassador Kim Yuna looked around the room, taking in the equipment and the nervous doctor. Jehoon, what's going on? I received a notification that you were being detained for medical evaluation. Ambassador Kim, Jehoon stood quickly. I'm not detained. Just some confusion about my medical files. Yuna turned to Dr. Velthar. Explain. Now. The doctor's skin flashed purple. Ambassador, we discovered that Earth is classified as a Class 12 Deathworld. The information was restricted. We needed clearance to access Diplomat Park's medical history. And we are trying to understand human biology so we can provide proper medical care. Jehoon is healthy. You said so yourself in your preliminary report. Why is he still here? Because we have never encountered a species like humans before. You need to clear him for duty or provide a legitimate medical reason for delay, Yuna interrupted. Her voice was calm but firm. He has been here for 4 hours. The door opened again. Director Thexel entered, followed by 3 other beings. One was a Brenthian with 4 arms and thick-scaled skin. Another was a small, floating creature surrounded by a transparent membrane. The third looked like a walking collection of crystals that chimed softly with each movement. Ambassador Kim, Director Thexel said, thank you for coming. We have assembled a consultation panel to discuss Earth's classification and what it means for human integration into Coalition service. Yuna crossed her arms. A panel? This is highly irregular. So is discovering a Class 12 Deathworld species in our diplomatic corps, the Brenthian said. His voice was deep and gravelly. I am General Krasnak, military advisor to the Coalition. I need to understand the capabilities and potential threats. Threats? Jehoon spoke up. Sir, I'm not a threat to anyone. I did not say you were, General Krasnak replied. But protocols exist for reasons. Please, everyone sit. Let us discuss this calmly. They arranged themselves around the examination room. Yuna stood beside Jehoon, her presence protective. The panel members took seats across from them. Dr. Velthar stood to the side with his tablet ready to present information. Let us begin with basic facts, Director Thexel said. Doctor, please summarize Earth's environmental conditions. Dr. Velthar activated a holographic display. An image of Earth appeared, slowly rotating. Beautiful blue and green and white. Earth is a terrestrial planet with gravity measuring 1g, which is 50 to 100% higher than most inhabited worlds. The atmospheric composition contains 21% oxygen, more than twice the Coalition standard. Temperature variations across the planet range over 100 degrees. The floating being made a sound like wind through caves. 100 degrees. Impossible. No species could adapt to such extremes. Humans did, Dr. Velthar said. They developed technology to manage temperature through clothing, shelter, and environmental controls. But they also physiologically adapted. Human bodies can survive in temperatures from -20 degrees to +50 degrees for extended periods. Extraordinary, the crystal being chimed. General Krasnak leaned forward. Tell me about human evolution. I want to understand what shaped them. Dr. Velthar changed the display to show images of early humans. Humans evolved as pursuit predators. They hunted prey through persistence. Their prey would run, exhaust itself, and collapse. Then humans would close in. Pursuit predators are rare, General Krasnak said. Most predators use ambush tactics or overwhelming force. Persistence hunting requires incredible endurance. Humans can run for hours without stopping, Dr. Velthar explained. Their cooling system uses water secretion across their entire skin surface. It is extremely efficient, Yuna spoke up. I ran a marathon last year in Seoul. 42 kilometers. It took me 4 hours, but I finished. The floating being made a sound like a gasp. 4 hours of continuous running? It's not that impressive, Yuna said. Thousands of people run marathons every year. Some do it in under 3 hours. The crystal being's chiming became agitated. 3 hours? Continuous motion for 3 hours? Some humans run ultramarathons, Jihoon added helpfully. Those can be 50 or 100 kilometers. Some races last 24 hours. General Krasnak stood up suddenly. 2 of his 4 arms were raised in what might have been a defensive posture. You are telling me that humans voluntarily run for 24 hours? For recreation? Not everyone, Jihoon said. Just people who really like running. Several panel members looked at each other. The floating being drifted closer to the wall as if seeking security. Dr. Velthar continued. Human anatomy shows numerous adaptations for survival. They have redundant organs. Their bones regenerate from fractures. They can heal from wounds that would be fatal to most species. Show them the dietary information, Director Thexil suggested. A new display appeared, showing various human foods. The panel members stared at it in silence. Capsaicin, ethanol, caffeine, Dr. Velthar listed, all toxic compounds. Humans consume them regularly. Some humans seek out increasingly strong concentrations of these substances for pleasure. I enjoy spicy food, Yuna said. Is that a problem? Spicy food uses chemical compounds that evolved in plants as defense mechanisms, the crystal being explained. Most species experience pain when consuming them. It is meant to discourage eating. Humans experience pain too, Yuna said. We just like it. The room fell silent again. General Krasnak slowly sat back down, his scaled face showing an expression Jihoon couldn't read. Ambassador Kim, the general said carefully, tell me about human warfare. I have access to Earth's historical databases, but I want to hear it from you. Yuna hesitated. Our last major global conflict ended 80 years ago. Humanity has been at peace since then. That's one of the requirements for joining the coalition. I understand. But your history shows conflicts of remarkable scale. 2 wars designated as world wars. Casualty figures in the tens of millions. Those were dark times in our history, Yuna said quietly. We learned from them. That's why we pursued peace. That's why we wanted to join the coalition. The Second World War lasted 6 years, General Krasnak said, reading from a data screen. Military and civilian casualties combined exceeded 70 million individuals. The floating being made a sound like a moan. 70 million deaths? In 6 years? Humans fought across multiple continents simultaneously, the general continued. In climates ranging from frozen tundra to tropical jungles to burning deserts. Your species maintained massive military forces while also producing food, equipment, and medical care for billions of civilians. We were fighting for survival, Yuna said. When threatened, humans can accomplish terrible things. But we can also accomplish beautiful things. We chose beauty. We chose peace. Your species ended the war using atomic weapons, General Krasnak said. Devices that release energy equivalent to natural disasters. You created weapons that harness nuclear reactions. Jihoon spoke up. We also created medicine that saves lives, music that brings joy, art that inspires. Spaceships that let us meet you. Please don't judge us only by our worst moments. The general's expression softened slightly. I am not judging, Diplomat Park, I am trying to understand. Your species survived a Deathworld, evolved as apex predators, fought wars of unimaginable scale, and then chose to pursue peace. That's not just remarkable, that is unprecedented. The crystal being chimed softly. The question before us is not whether humans are dangerous. Clearly they have the capacity for danger. The question is whether they can be trusted. We have been monitoring human behavior since they joined the coalition, Director Thexil said. 2 years of observation. Humans have been involved in 17 diplomatic situations. They successfully mediated peaceful solutions in 15 of those situations. The other 2 are still ongoing but showing progress. They have had 0 incidents of aggression, Dr. Velthar added. Multiple humans have provided medical assistance to other species. Diplomat Park himself helped rescue survivors from the station accident last year. Jihoon remembered that day. A cargo vessel had collided with a transport ship. He had been nearby and helped pull people from damaged compartments. It hadn't seemed like anything special at the time. People needed help, so he helped. Humans have shown consistent patterns of cooperation and compassion, Director Thexil concluded. They are from a Deathworld, yes. 2 days had passed since the panel consultation. Ji-hoon had been cleared for diplomatic duty, but Dr. Velthar had requested additional time to conduct what he called comprehensive biological research. Ji-hoon agreed because the doctor seemed genuinely fascinated rather than afraid now. They sat in a private research lab, smaller and more comfortable than the examination room. Dr. Velthar had arranged chairs facing each other rather than doctor and patient positions. His skin had settled into a curious yellow-green color that Ji-hoon now recognized as scientific interest. Thank you for agreeing to these additional sessions, Diplomat Park, Dr. Velthar said. I am writing a paper on human biology. With your permission, of course. That's fine, Ji-hoon said. What do you want to know? Everything. Dr. Velthar pulled up a holographic note-taking interface. Let us start with something simple. You mentioned your grandmother earlier. Tell me about her. My grandmother? Well, she's 84 years old. She lives in Busan near the ocean. Very active. She does yoga every morning and walks several kilometers each day. Dr. Velthar's skin flashed bright yellow. 84 years. And she is still active? Sure, she's healthy for her age. Some people live to be over 100. 100 years, Dr. Velthar said slowly. He made several notes. Most coalition species have lifespans of 40 to 60 years. Humans live nearly twice as long, and they remain active in advanced age. My grandmother complains about her knees sometimes, but yeah, she's pretty independent. Remarkable. What does she do for health maintenance? Surely she requires constant medical intervention. Not really. She takes some vitamins. She eats well. She says traditional Korean food is the secret to long life. Traditional food. Dr. Velthar leaned forward. Tell me about this. What does she eat? Lots of vegetables, rice, kimchi, sometimes fish or chicken. She makes this really good soup with ginger and garlic when someone in the family gets sick. Dr. Velthar's hands moved rapidly across his note interface. Ginger, garlic, these are plants? Yes, they're used in cooking. Also traditional medicine. My grandmother always said ginger settles your stomach and garlic boosts your immune system. Please wait a moment. Dr. Velthar activated another screen and began searching through a database. After a few seconds, he made a sound like a whistle. His skin turned white. Diplomat Park ginger contains compounds called gingerols and shogols. According to coalition chemical databases, these are potent bioactive substances. In most species, they would cause severe gastrointestinal distress, neurological disruption, or both. But ginger helps with stomach upset, Ji-hoon said, confused. For humans, apparently. For everyone else, it is a toxin. Dr. Velthar searched again. Garlic contains allicin and sulfur compounds. This is even worse. Allicin is directly toxic to cellular function in most life forms. Your grandmother feeds this to sick family members? It helps us feel better. You combat illness by consuming compounds that would poison other species. Dr. Velthar's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. Something Ji-hoon had learned meant the doctor was processing difficult information. What else does your grandmother use as medicine? Honey for sore throats? Green tea for, well, everything, really. She drinks a lot of green tea. Dr. Velthar searched his database for honey. His skin flickered through several colors rapidly. Honey is a supersaturated sugar solution containing hydrogen peroxide, methyl glyoxal, and various antimicrobial enzymes. This substance would burn living tissue in most species. You put this in wounds? Sometimes. It's supposed to help them heal. It is chemical warfare, Dr. Velthar said flatly. Your grandmother uses chemical warfare agents as home remedies. She's just trying to help people feel better, Ji-hoon protested. I am not criticizing. I am amazed. The doctor made more notes. Human traditional medicine uses substances that would be classified as weapons by coalition standards. This is consistent with everything else I have learned about your species. It's just food and herbs, Ji-hoon said. My grandmother learned these things from her mother who learned from her mother. It's tradition. Tradition built on surviving a death world, Dr. Velthar said. Your ancestors learned which toxins could be consumed safely, which could provide benefits, which could kill. They passed that knowledge down through generations. Ji-hoon had never thought about it that way. His grandmother's soup was just soup. Comfortable, familiar. The idea that it might be dangerous to other species felt strange. "Can I ask you something?" Ji-hoon said. "Of course. What do other species eat?" "If our food is so dangerous, what's normal?" Dr. Velthar pulled up images of various foods. They looked bland, mostly pale colors, smooth textures, nutrition paste, synthesized from safe plant matter, processed to remove defensive compounds. Most species eat variations of this. Every day? Yes, it provides all necessary nutrients without risk. That sounds boring. It is safe, Dr. Velthar corrected. Humans prioritize flavor over safety, another adaptation to Deathworld living. Life should be enjoyed, not just survived, Ji-hoon said. Dr. Velthar's skin shifted to a soft blue. That is a very human philosophy. Tell me more about your family. You mentioned a sister? Park Minji, she's a doctor. Pediatric trauma surgeon in Seoul. Pediatric trauma. She treats injured children? Yes, she's really good at her job. Works long hours, but she loves it. Dr. Velthar made a note. Human children require trauma surgery frequently enough to have specialists? Well, kids get hurt. They fall off playground equipment, crash bicycles, break bones playing sports. Minji fixes them up. Playground equipment, Dr. Velthar repeated. You construct elevated platforms for children to climb on? Sure, kids need exercise and adventure. It's good for their development. You deliberately place children in situations where they might fall and break bones because it is good for them. I mean, it's not supposed to be dangerous. There are safety features. But yes, kids need to learn physical skills. Climbing, running, jumping. If they get hurt, they heal. Dr. Velthar was quiet for a long moment. His skin showed colors Ji-hoon didn't recognize. Diplomat Park on my world. Children are kept in protective environments until they reach physical maturity at age 15. The idea of deliberately exposing them to risk is, I do not have words for it. Human children are tougher than you think, Ji-hoon said. They bounce back from things. It's important for them to explore and learn. Your sister fixes children who have been broken and bounced, Dr. Velthar said. And this is common enough to require specialists. How often do human children experience serious injury? I don't know the statistics. But kids heal fast. Faster than adults, actually. Faster healing in juveniles. That is another survival adaptation. More notes. Tell me about your own childhood. You mentioned falling from a tree and breaking your arm. Why were you in a tree? Playing with friends. We built a treehouse, a house in a tree, an elevated structure accessed by climbing. It was fun. We spent whole summers up there reading comics and eating snacks. At what age? 10, maybe 11. Prepubescent children constructing elevated platforms and climbing to reach them. Dr. Velthar's skin was white again. No adult supervision. Our parents knew where we were. They told us to be careful. And when you fell and broke your arm, my mom took me to the hospital. They put a cast on it. I was back to normal in about 6 weeks. Couldn't play baseball that season, which was annoying. You wanted to return to physical activities that might cause additional injury. The cast came off. I was fine. Dr. Velthar put down his note interface and looked at Ji-hoon with all 4 eyes. Let me see if I understand human childhood. Young humans are exposed to physical challenges that frequently result in injury. They consume foods and medicines that would be toxic to other species. They are expected to heal from broken bones and return to activities. This is normal? Yes. And humans consider this healthy? Of course. Kids need to grow strong. They need to learn resilience. Resilience, Dr. Velthar said softly. You train your children to be resilient by exposing them to hardship. Not hardship exactly, just normal life. Normal life on a death world. The doctor's skin cycled through several colors. I am beginning to understand something important. What's that? Other species protect their young from all possible harm. We create perfectly safe environments because our worlds allow it. But humans come from a world that does not allow perfect safety. So you teach your children to be strong instead of simply keeping them safe. I guess that's true, Ji-hoon said. My grandmother always said, fall down 7 times, stand up 8 times. It's about not giving up. A human proverb about repeatedly experiencing failure and injury, Dr. Velthar said. That philosophy explains much about your species. We're survivors, Ji-hoon said simply. That's what Earth taught us. Not to give up. Not to quit. To keep going even when things are hard. Dr. Velthar's skin shifted to a warm orange color. You are also kind. That is what I find most remarkable. You survived all of this difficulty, developed all these adaptations, became strong enough to be dangerous, and yet you choose compassion. Strength without kindness is just cruelty, Ji-hoon said. That's another thing my grandmother taught me. Your grandmother is a wise human. She'd like you, Ji-hoon said with a smile. She always says doctors are the most important people in the world. 3 weeks after Ji-hoon's medical examination, the Coalition Council gathered in their grand chamber on Central Station. The room was enormous, with seats arranged in circular tiers rising toward a domed ceiling that showed the stars beyond. Representatives from 200 species filled the chamber, their various forms and colors creating a living rainbow. Today's agenda included one major item: the official classification of humanity and Earth's integration status. Ambassador Kim Yuna sat in the human delegation section with Ji-hoon beside her. Across the chamber they could see Dr. Velthar in the medical observers area, his skin showing nervous purple colors. The council speaker, a tall being with translucent blue skin, called the session to order. Her voice echoed through the chamber. We gather to address the classification of species designation human, originating from planet Earth. This matter has generated significant discussion across coalition departments. We will hear from multiple witnesses before voting on final classification status. The first speaker was a security official who presented the Deathworld classification data. Images of Earth appeared on displays throughout the chamber. Statistics scrolled past. Oxygen levels, gravity, temperature ranges, predator species, natural disasters. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some species representatives moved away from the human delegation section. The second speaker was a military analyst who discussed human warfare history. This caused more disturbance. Several representatives demanded increased security protocols for human interactions. Ji-hoon felt Yuna tense beside him. Her face remained calm, but he could see the frustration in her eyes. Then the council speaker called, Counselor Lee Dae-ho, representing Earth. You may address the council. A man in his 50s stood from the human delegation. Lee Dae-ho had gray hair and kind eyes. He had been Earth's ambassador to the coalition for 2 years, working carefully to build trust and friendship. He walked to the central speaking platform and looked around the chamber at all the watching faces and eyes and sensors. Honored representatives, he began, his voice steady. Yes, Earth is a difficult world. Yes, humans evolved in harsh conditions. Yes, our history contains violence and conflict. These things are true. But they are not the whole truth. He activated a display showing images of Earth, not statistics this time, real places.
Children playing in a park.
A market full of people and food. A hospital where doctors work to save lives. A concert hall filled with music. Earth taught us to be strong, but it also taught us to care for each other. When your world tries to kill you every day, you learn to help your neighbor. You learn that survival means cooperation. You learn that everyone deserves compassion. New images appeared. Human doctors treating alien patients. Human engineers helping build structures on other worlds. Human teachers sharing knowledge with other species. We came to the stars not to conquer but to learn. Not to dominate but to join. We wanted to meet you. All of you. To share what we know and learn what you know. To build something together. Lee Dae-ho's voice grew stronger. You are afraid of us. I understand that. We are different. Our normal is your nightmare. But look at what we have done since joining the coalition. 2 years of peaceful interaction. Not one incident of aggression. Not one threat. Not one moment where we showed anything except friendship and respect. The chamber was quiet now. Everyone was listening. You ask if humans can be trusted. I ask you to look at our actions, not just our origins. We choose peace every day. We choose kindness every day. Earth made us strong, but we decide how to use that strength, and we choose to use it to help. He paused, letting his words settle. My grandmother used to tell me a story. A man finds a bird with a broken wing. The bird is afraid because the man could hurt it. But the man gently picks up the bird and heals its wing. The bird learns that strength can be kind. That is what humans learned on Earth. That is what we bring to the coalition. Lee Dae-ho looked directly at the council speaker. We are from a death world. That will never change. But we ask you to see us for who we are, not just where we are from. We are humans. We are friends. We are part of this family now. He returned to his seat. The chamber remained quiet for several long seconds. Then Dr. Velthar stood in the observers section. "Council Speaker, may I address this matter?" "You may speak, Doctor." Dr. Velthar moved to the speaking platform. His skin showed determined orange colors. "I am Dr. Velthar. I conducted the medical examination that revealed Earth's classification. I have spent 3 weeks studying human biology and interviewing human subjects. I want to share what I learned." He activated his own display showing medical data. "Humans are biologically extraordinary. They heal from injuries that would kill others. They consume substances that are toxic to most species. They endure conditions we consider impossible. This is all true. But I learned something more important. I learned about human grandmothers who use traditional medicine to help their families feel better. I learned about human children who explore and play and learn resilience. I learned about human doctors who dedicate their lives to healing others. I learned about human diplomats who work tirelessly to build peace." Dr. Velthar's skin shifted to warm blue. "Yes, humans are from a death world. Yes, they are strong and potentially dangerous. But they are also kind and compassionate and wise. They chose to use their strength for good. That choice matters more than their origin." He looked at Jihoon and Yuna. "I was afraid when I first learned the truth about humans. Now I am grateful. The Coalition is fortunate to have humans among us. They will make us better." Dr. Velthar returned to his seat. The chamber erupted in discussion. Representatives talked among themselves, gesturing and debating. The council speaker called for order. "We will now hear from General Krasanak, military advisor." The large Brenthian stood and walked to the platform. His forearms moved in what might have been a formal gesture. "I reviewed human military history. I was concerned. Very concerned. Humans are effective warriors. If they chose violence, they would be formidable enemies." He paused. "But they do not choose violence. They choose peace. When given the option between war and diplomacy, humans now choose diplomacy. When given the option between conquest and cooperation, humans choose cooperation. This is not weakness. This is wisdom." General Krasnak's voice grew louder. "I propose that humans be given full diplomatic status without restrictions. More than that, I propose we learn from them. They survived conditions most of us cannot imagine. They became strong without becoming cruel. That is worth studying. That is worth respecting." The general returned to his seat. The chamber was filled with noise now as representatives debated intensely. The council speaker raised her hand for silence. "We will vote on the following resolution. Species designation human shall be classified as Deathworld diplomats. Full coalition integration approved. Medical monitoring maintained for safety purposes. All diplomatic and civilian postings available without restriction. All in favor?" Lights appeared across the chamber as representatives voted. Jihoon held his breath. Beside him, Yuna reached over and squeezed his hand. The council speaker reviewed the results. The resolution passes with 83% approval. Humans are officially recognized as full coalition members with Deathworld diplomat classification. Applause filled the chamber. Not all representatives joined in, but most did. Some even stood in respect. Yuna let out a breath she had been holding. "We did it," Jihoon smiled. "We did." After the session ended, representatives came to speak with the human delegation. Many offered congratulations. Some asked questions about Earth. A few admitted they were still nervous but willing to learn. Dr. Velthar approached with his skin showing happy yellow colors. "Congratulations, Diplomat Park. I knew the council would make the right decision." "Thank you, Doctor, for everything. Your testimony helped a lot. I only spoke the truth." Dr. Velthar hesitated. "I am writing that medical textbook on human biology. Would you be willing to review it before publication? I want to make sure I represent your species accurately. I'd be happy to help." Counselor Lee Daeho joined them. "Dr. Velthar, excellent testimony. Very moving. Thank you, Counselor. I learned much from your people." "And we learned from you," Lee Daeho said. "Understanding goes both ways." General Krasnak approached the group. "Diplomat Park, Ambassador Kim. I wanted to speak with you about a proposal." "Of course, General," Yuna said. "The Coalition runs training programs for peacekeepers who operate in dangerous regions. I think human instructors could teach valuable lessons about survival and resilience. Would Earth be interested in participating?" Yuna smiled. "I think we would be very interested. Humans are good at teaching others how to keep going when things get difficult." Then we will discuss details soon." The general nodded respectfully and moved away. As the chamber emptied, Jihoon stood near the large windows looking out at the stars. So many worlds out there, so many species, all different, all learning to live together. Yuna came to stand beside him. "What are you thinking about?" "My grandmother," Jihoon said. "I wish she could see this. She always wanted me to see the world. Now I'm seeing the galaxy. You should call her. Tell her about today, I will." Jihoon smiled. "She's going to be so proud. She should be. You represented humanity well." Park Jihoon stepped into the medical facility with a relaxed smile on his face. The walls glowed with soft blue light, and the air smelled faintly of something sweet. He had been to many strange places since joining the Interstellar Coalition Diplomatic Service. But medical stations always felt the same: clean, quiet, a little boring. A tall figure approached him from the corridor. The being had smooth, pale purple skin that seemed to shimmer under the lights. Four eyes blinked at him in sequence, and a gentle voice spoke through a translation device on its collar. "Diplomat Park Jihoon, I am Dr. Velthar. Welcome to Medical Station Theta 7. Please follow me to Examination Room 6. Jihoon bowed slightly out of habit. "Thank you, Doctor. Nice to meet you." Dr. Velthar led him through sliding doors into a circular room filled with equipment Jihoon didn't recognize. A platform stood in the center, surrounded by floating screens and scanner arrays. Everything looked expensive and complicated. "Please stand on the platform," Dr. Velthar said, his skin flickering with what Jihoon assumed were colors of concentration. "This is a standard diplomatic health screening. Nothing invasive, just measurements and basic scans." "No problem," Jihoon said, stepping onto the platform. "How long will this take?" 30 minutes at most. I have treated over 400 species in my career. Humans are new to the coalition, but the process is the same for everyone." The doctor moved his long fingers across a control panel. Blue light washed over Jihoon from head to toe. Numbers and symbols appeared on the screens around them. Dr. Velthar's skin shifted to a calm green color. Height: 178 centimeters. Mass 75 kilograms. Temperature. The doctor paused. His skin flickered yellow. "Temperature reading seems high. Are you feeling unwell?" Jihoon shook his head. "I feel fine." "What's the reading?" 37.2 degrees. That would indicate fever in most species. "Oh, that's normal for humans. Our body temperature is usually around 37 degrees. Dr. Velthar made a note on his screen, though his skin remained a puzzled yellow for a moment before returning to green. "Fascinating. Your cardiovascular readings are also quite vigorous. Heart rate at 70 beats per minute while resting." "Is that bad?" Jihoon asked. No, simply energetic. Most species maintain 40 to 50 beats per minute at rest." The doctor continued his work, taking more measurements. "Your bone density is remarkable. Muscle tissue very well developed. You exercise regularly." "I go to the gym a few times a week." "Nothing special." "I see." Dr. Velthar's four eyes studied the screens carefully. "Your scan results are excellent, Diplomat Park. Very healthy specimen. Now I just need to access your medical history file to complete the evaluation. This is standard procedure. We must ensure you have no conditions that could be affected by travel or exposure to other species." "Sure. Go ahead," Jihoon said, stepping down from the platform. He stretched his arms, feeling a little stiff from standing still. Dr. Velthar touched several controls on his panel. A new screen opened in front of him, displaying a file search interface. He entered Jihoon's identification code and pressed the confirmation button. The screen changed. Instead of a file, a large red symbol appeared. Text scrolled across the screen in bold letters. "Classified. Deathworld Files Clearance Level 9. Required and authorized access prohibited, Doctor." Velthar's skin flashed bright orange, then deep purple, then back to orange again. His four eyes widened, and he took a step backward from the screen as if it had become dangerous. What is this?" he whispered. Jihoon walked over to look at the screen. "Oh, yeah, I guess some of our files are classified." "Is that a problem?" "A problem?" Dr. Velthar's voice rose higher. His skin was now flashing between orange and red in rapid pulses. "In 40 years of medical practice, I have never encountered a classified patient file. Never, not once." "Really?" Jihoon scratched his head. "I thought it was just normal security stuff." "Deathworld files," Dr. Velthar said. reading the screen again as if he couldn't believe his eyes. Deathworld. That term is used for planets with extreme environmental hazards. Planets where simply existing requires constant survival effort. He turned his 4 eyes to Jihoon. You are from a Deathworld? Jihoon shrugged. I'm from Earth, Seoul actually. It's a nice city. Good food, lots of people. The classification says clearance level 9. That is military-grade security. Dr. Velthar's hands were shaking slightly. I have clearance level 4. Most medical directors have level 5. What could possibly be in a medical history that requires level 9 clearance? I honestly don't know, Doctor. I've never seen my file classified before. Maybe it's because I'm working for the diplomatic corps now. They're pretty serious about security. Dr. Velthar tapped on his screen, trying different commands. Each time, the same red warning appeared. His skin had settled into a steady dark purple color that Jihoon was beginning to think meant stress or worry. I need to contact Station Command, the doctor said, more to himself than to Jihoon. This is highly irregular. Extremely irregular. Do you want me to wait outside? Jihoon offered. I don't want to cause trouble. No, please remain here. Do not leave the examination room. Dr. Velthar moved to a communication panel on the wall. Command, this is Dr. Velthar in examination room 6. I have a code-level emergency. I require immediate consultation with Medical Director Thexel. A voice crackled through the speaker. Define your emergency, Doctor. I have a patient with a classified medical file. Deathworld classification. Level 9 clearance required? There was a long pause. Repeat that, Doctor. Deathworld files. Level 9 clearance. Stand by. Director Thexel is being notified now. Dr. Velthar turned back to Jihoon. His skin was still purple and his 4 eyes seemed unable to focus on any one thing. Please, Diplomat Park, sit down. Can I get you water? Nutrition supplements? I'm fine, really. Jihoon sat in a chair near the wall. I'm sorry this is causing so much trouble. My medical history is pretty boring, honestly. I broke my arm when I was 12. Had my appendix removed when I was 23. Normal stuff. You broke a bone. Dr. Velthar's skin flashed yellow. And required surgical removal of an organ? Yeah, but I was fine after. The arm healed in about 6 weeks. The surgery was no big deal. Dr. Velthar opened his mouth, closed it, then opened it again. No sound came out. He looked at Jihoon the way someone might look at a puzzle they couldn't solve. The door slid open. A larger being entered with thick gray skin and 6 arms. This had to be Medical Director Thexel. The director's voice was deep and rumbling. Dr. Velthar, you have a patient with Deathworld classification? Yes, Director. Diplomat Park Jihoon from Earth. Director Thexel's multiple eyes fixed on Jihoon. I have heard of Earth, the new species. I did not know they were from a Deathworld. Neither did I, Director. I will request emergency clearance from Coalition Command. This may take some time. The director looked at Jihoon with what might have been curiosity or concern. Diplomat Park, you are in no danger here. We simply need to understand your medical needs properly. Please be patient with us. Of course, Jihoon said with a friendly smile. Take all the time you need. The 2 doctors stepped into the corridor to speak privately. Through the open door, Jihoon could hear fragments of their conversation. Deathworld, unprecedented. Why wasn't this flagged earlier? Coalition security must have reasons. Jihoon leaned back in his chair and pulled out his personal communication device. He sent a quick message to his supervisor, Ambassador Kim Yuna. Medical screening taking longer than expected. Nothing wrong. Just some paperwork issues. Her reply came quickly. Paperwork with coalition bureaucracy always takes forever. Let me know if you need anything. Jihoon smiled and put the device away. Through the window he could see stars and distant planets. Space was beautiful. He felt lucky to be here doing this work, even if it meant sitting through some extra medical screening. Dr. Velthar returned to the room. His skin was now a mixture of purple and orange, swirling in nervous patterns. The director has requested emergency clearance. We should have access to your file within the hour. He paused. May I ask, Diplomat Park, what is Earth like? It's beautiful, Jihoon said. Blue oceans, green forests, mountains, cities. My favorite place is this park near my apartment where I used to run in the mornings. You ran for recreation? Sure, it's good exercise. Helps clear your mind. Dr. Velthar's skin flashed yellow again. He made several more notes on his screen, his hands moving quickly. Jihoon wondered what could possibly be so interesting about running.